Hola, ¿cómo estás, amigos? Here we are, it's final time. Yes! I could have learned over the past 3 days some more Spanish. That's all I've learned so far. We're at the final part of this tournament here in Barcelona, the CSGO Invitational, with two of the biggest teams in the world. They both have just 2 lives left. Fnatic, Astralis. Let's go this way first. How are you feeling about the final?
I'm happy that we're here. I'm looking very much forward to the game, so yeah, that's how I feel.
And what form are you feeling in? Because at times, you've looked very good.
As I said against Dignitas, it's a little bit up and down right now. We play good sometimes, and sometimes we play a little bit sloppy. So I hope that we will find out the good play this time.
And Fnatic have been everything that Fnatic are. You've been cold, you've been clinical, you've been dominant.
Yep.
You're coming into this final with 2 lives. What sort of threat does Astralis pose to you?
Not much, really. We feel quite comfortable going into this game.
Okay. He doesn't think you pose much of a threat.
That's fine. I know that Fnatic is the best team in the world right now, but as far as I remember, we were the one that beat them the most last year, so I hope we will go back to that thing.
So they beat you the most last year. How do you feel about that now?
It's fine. It's a new year, new lineup.
Do you know what? I'm trying to wind this up slightly. If you two just want to face off, maybe eye to eye. Come on, eye to eye. There we go. Ready to go. Take your places to your corners. This is the cup they're playing for. They've both got 2 lives left as we head into the first of the maps. And for that, as it's ready to roll, let's hand to the machine.
Thanks very much. Final time then. We're going to be seeing the winner, crown a winner for ESL Expo Barcelona CSGO Invitational. That's what happens when finals happen. I know, in-depth analysis starts now. I've got Yanko, Pansy and Moses to dissect this final. My headset is falling off my ear. And boys and girls, we have to talk about Astralis Fnatic. It's a matchup we're going to be seeing more and more. I mean, you know, you've got a lot of big events coming up. Chances are this is going to be a taster of what could be coming up a little later on for the CSGO world. And I do want to start less so in the Fnatic corner because we have just seen them play twice and just focus on the Danes to start things off, right? Let me set the scene. We started our way back 2 days ago by criticizing Astralis. We said, yes, they've looked a little weaker, and actually Dignitas have been impressing us more so than Astralis recently. That was a lot of statements, or rather the general feeling on the desk. However, look where they are now. They were the last to lose the first life, and now they're in the finals. Moses.
Well, I think it's just because our expectations for Astralis is much higher than Dignitas. So Dignitas has, you know, they don't have to reach as much to impress us, but yeah. I mean, that's quickly fading. They're showing good stuff, obviously. But Astralis, the tough part about Astralis is they just don't inspire confidence. You know, when you think about them, when you think about Fnatic, how dominant they are, you just always get the feeling they're going to win. With Astralis, you just always get the feeling that they're going to fall apart at a certain point.
Well, you look at the early games today, right? It's like they went 0-7 almost, and they still won it out. Like, they still close the games, which you'd expect them to do, but they never do it in like the same convincing fashion, unless Device suddenly, you know, becomes the monster that he can be. Like Device obviously went off incredible amounts for the last couple of matches we saw him to see, but that's not the point. It's the fact that you can't just have full faith in these guys yet.
Definitely, I agree with your point, Moses, that, you know, we've been talking about Dignitas more, but it's in context to, you know, their achievements beforehand, right? We are used to Astralis being that team who's always going to make the top 4 and so on, contend for titles. The last time they were in a final, I honestly can't even remember if it was PGL. The last time that was the last time they actually won a tournament. They haven't been in the final of Cluj, of Face It, Stage 3, of Pro League, of Minsk, of Leipzig either. So this is a chance for them to also maybe, you know, get their first title after a long time.
And I mean, of course, that title is just going to be a taste of what they're hungering for. You've got like 250,000 events just next month. And so, next month. So this is going to be huge. I mean, just for Astralis just to have that little bit of confidence to win a final against Fnatic. And I mean, let's not deny, Fnatic have already been looking very, very strong.
Well, this is the first time we're really seeing in action those changes coming through. I hate harping on about it, but obviously the Device change coming in with Carrigan and the AWP and such. This is the first time we've seen it really kind of, I'd like to say on a varied map pool. It's not been particularly varied for them, but you know, in an offline event with regular consistency. So I think Fnatic's not going to give a flying F in the world about it, to be fair, because they can still play around it. But it's the first time we'll see it probably tested in a finals environment.
And I mean, let's start the map talk, just because we've seen we saw Dust2 from Astralis quite a lot. We saw basically two Dust2s, 2 Mirages. And on the other side of things, we've seen this Fnatic kind of basically just never, ever orientate themselves towards the cache. They're basically, we've got 2 Infernos, a Cobble, Overpass, Train. So they've had a much more, like even in just this tournament, even in just the few games they've played, their map pool's been much more varied.
I mean, it is kind of tricky. The last time these two teams met at both Minsk and at Pro League last year, Fnatic won both times, obviously, although Astralis did manage to take a map off of them in Minsk. It was Mirage, right? Yep. So considering it's a best of 1, there are going to be a lot of vetoes. I'm interested to see who is going to ban cache, because Fnatic usually vetoes it, right? But maybe, you know, they force Astralis to veto it. They don't like playing it. So there's going to be a game of chicken there slightly to who gets to pick the final map, right? I think the big chances are that we're going to see Overpass again, maybe even something like Train. I would like to think that Astralis is going to veto Inferno.
And I've just had confirmation that the veto has taken place, and the first map is going to be Dust2, a map we've already seen kind of Astralis both win and lose against G2 on, and I think that's where we're going to start our focus then. We know the map. You didn't want to contribute on like where they felt the vetoes were going to go. I mean, you know it's Dust2 now, right? Is it kind of expected for you?
I didn't think it was Dust2. Personally, I think there was better strengths maybe for
okay.
Astralis.
What were you leaning towards?
Your overpasses, maybe even a Cobble, but then again, you know, Cobble's hard to take on Fnatic on any conjunction. But then so's the rest of the map pool. Maybe a Train, because they haven't faced on Train in a fairly long time, and maybe Astralis could find something on that. As you know, Fnatic didn't look flawless, but it seems Olaf has gathered the sign from the crowd.
The thing here is, like, Fnatic says their strongest map is Inferno, then their second strongest map has to be Dust2, right? Yeah. And also you would think that the way they played Cobble against Dignitas, for Astralis, the good map for them is Dust2. But I feel that Fnatic's answer to that is, but we know everything they like to do on that map. So I think that that's the reasoning for Fnatic's.
Yeah, I mean, they had plenty of things to watch if they wanted to figure out how Astralis play it, especially right now. Just that they played 2 very, very close games. Plenty of data to look at just over the past couple of days. And one of the things they're gonna, I think, really exploit is mid to B. Well, I think there was a lot of trouble. I thought G2 had really exploited that mid to B defense on the Astralis side pretty often. I think Fnatic's going to be able to just crack that open. Yeah,
it was Carrigan who was generally holding it if he did, and that was because he was playing a little bit of attention towards mid at the very start of things, but then would eventually go to B. You could easily hit that B side very quickly as well on the T side if they wanted to. Bearing in mind, Shox came into his own towards the later part of that game on the Lurk as well. So these exploits were very clear. And for G2 to work them out very, very quickly as well after one game of playing, someone like Fnatic, as you said, is going to have that pretty much under wraps.
And Device actually as an opera on Dust2 reminds me a little bit of Skadoodle in the sense that he's very, very stationary over towards that A bomb side. He just likes to play that A long. And while he was effective at it the other day on the CT side, there's not a lot of mobility. It's not like his other maps where he's very mobile. He likes to dominate the map with just his all presence. So that's one switch up that they can look at. And I mean, let's just talk about the struggles that Astralis had yesterday on Dust2.
Yeah, that's true. They had a terrible T-side, and if you get punished for that by G2, imagine how punished you are going to get by Fnatic. But, you know, I think that T-side on Dust2 against G2 was probably the only side where Device underperformed, really. It was a terrible, terrible half for him. But apart from that, he's had a really good tournament, like consistently putting up numbers, being good with the op and the rifles. So maybe if that continues in this game as well, that could be, you know, a saving grace.
Yeah, but it's a finals, you know? This is where it's known to happen.
And he had and I like how you just said bad side, because I'm pretty sure he came back to like middle of the pack, like 17, 18. Yeah, he was nearly at the top by the end of that, and that's of course on that T side. So there is definitely some silver linings for Astralis on Dust2. You know how you mentioned Device plays were kind of sticking to his roots and sticking to his guns on A on CT side?
Yes.
Did we not? What's that?
Just excited to hear what you got.
I was just intrigued because I have a couple of standout rounds whereby I'm getting critiqued here. Gesticulating. There were a couple of standout rounds where Device was basically left alone to hold B. Like, where does that come from when you've got him primarily holding long? Like, he had an AWP, he was basically delaying them as best he possibly could. How does someone that's...
Where Device would be alone in B?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just because if you have the op and you just put it as a turret at the back of the bomb site, you get an early read.
Just throw him there.
Nice narrow choke point to use the op in.
And also what they did, when they did that, when they put Device alone on B, you had Kerrigan boosted up on the box in CT spawn. So they were basically playing a 4A setup, where Kerrigan, if there was a mid to B split, he would try to, you know, get a couple of kills from that box, and then it's left to Device to cover the B tunnels. But that position is also pretty exploitable if you know that there's an op there, because when you throw a smoke, then it's really random for the player holding B. You know, he can fire through the smoke, then it's a matter of luck, basically. If not, then he can get swarmed.
Also, a lot of faith in Kerrigan to be able to delay or get a kill or two on that mid attack. If one player even slips by, then all of a sudden Device is just gone.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got to kind of remember that this isn't just Dust2 as well. With this being a final, we can actually take a little bit of a kind of a overarching view. It is still going to be this best of one veto format, though. So, like, what are our expectations regarding the maps and how this is going to work? Because they basically get an opportunity after every life lost to have another go at the veto.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't know who vetoed what. For one,
I'm waiting. I am desperately waiting for that to update.
We don't know the order, and also it depends who is going to win the first match, right? You know, maybe the team, I don't think Fnatic is too, you know, moved by the fact, oh, did we lose on this map or did we win? They're just going to play whatever they feel like playing because it's Fnatic.
And I think that's going to be... It's our segment almost always when it's Fnatic competing, especially now you've seen them to topple G2. They're sitting on their 2 lives. They said they came into this tournament, but not only did they claim they're the best team, they also said, we're only going to lose 1 life. There's just such a confident aura around Fnatic that it's just... It kind of borders on overwhelming that they just... For a team going against them, they know they're the best. Their results show it as well. And now at Astralis, their kind of only backbone they had was Dupree saying, well, I mean... We kind of took the most wins off you last year. Virgo, new year, new roster, and I want predictions.
Well, this is a really hard one to predict because I like the way that Astralis looked throughout this tournament. They have been improving up to maybe a month ago and so on, but Fnatic is just looking too solid at this point. I have to go with Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic's proficiency in any time we've seen them, even just looking at today and yesterday, it's been ridiculous. So it's hard to go against them.
Jason, you want to be that guy? No, you're not. Not stepping up to the plate when in the absence of Sadakist.
Not after what I just saw at Fnatic. That was dirty.
Yeah.
As NBK dubbed it, beautiful CS from Fnatic, and hopefully we see some more of that one. And to present this thing of beauty, we have ourselves the CS casting pair of Henry G and Sadakist. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Alex. And yes, absolutely, it's an interesting prospect that essentially it's a best of 3, but we could end up playing the same map in theory.
Hasn't happened yet, but we're going to see. I would kind of like to see that because it'd be so interesting to see if teams can adapt and kind of pick themselves up after maybe having a very close game and think, well, we can still actually do that. So some clutches were lost and maybe we can bounce back from that. I don't think that will happen, but we'll see how it goes down. Potentially we can play 3 maps there.
That's true. I mean, both teams still left on 2 lives. What Fnatic said that they would lose overall was 1, so if they 2-0 this, then apparently Crims is a fortune teller. I'm interested to see this Dust2 because, again, there has still been issues for Astralis on it. I know their CT side is accredited to being amazing, but there are fundamental flaws now in the fact that it's become a little bit stale and they're trying to compensate for it.
This is the thing, right? Like, it used to be so adaptive. They were so good at reading the opposition, but the problem when you're playing against Fnatic as well, we talked about on the desk earlier, like, they're just such good at their basic fundamentals and their approach to bomb sites, and you've got so many strong players that coming up against you to all sort of executions there. Their terrorist side has been a huge problem for Astralis. It looked very stale yesterday against G2, and they actually dropped this map as well. One of their, a couple of months ago, I'd be saying Dust2 is one of, well, TSM now, Astralis' best maps, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt. I think this is an interesting one. And there's also 2 very different style of plays that we're going to see. We're going to see the aggressive catwalk from Dennis, and hopefully we'll see an aggressive catwalk from Astralis. I think that's what they need to do, but we'll likely see the passive AWP at Cars. So there's very different approaches. Now, yesterday as well, if you watch the G2 game with Astralis, sure, their CT side started to get rolling on that A side again, but their B side became the weakness, and it took G2 a while to figure that out, but once they did, they took huge advantage of that.
And we'll see. We talked about like Device on this map as well, obviously the main AWP player as well. This is where Cajun B used to roll the orb. He was so like famed, I guess, for working that car area and being so strong at it. It's now Device taking over that role, but he's a lot more dynamic. He's moving around the map a lot more, and we'll see what he brings to the table here. Going up against JW, a much more explosive orb, but he's like he's dynamic in the sense he's just like erratic on the map. He'll be moving not just around the map in terms of positional control. He'll just be pushing through smokes. He'll be pushing through mid doors. He'll be doing whatever the hell he wants. So that's something that Astralis need to be aware of, especially on their T side, and make sure they don't get caught out there. In terms of predictions there, I feel like Fnatic, just in the current form, we saw them in earlier against G2, they look way too strong right now to actually lose a single map against Astralis. I hope it is a very close contested game. It'd be great to see that in the grand final here. But how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling like, just in a retrospect to the whole event, that this was a lot of fun. I do think that an event like this every now and then is very interesting, and I'd like to see it kind of continue in just these alliances that we did have. I wish that when the 4 teams were there, you could swap out and let someone play back-to-back, because then the alliances could have potentially gone forward today. But in terms of what I'm expecting today, yes, this is going to be a closely contested final, and it's Astralis who have to show up right now. They definitely looked a little sluggish in the morning against Team Dignitas. They made it here nonetheless without losing a life, but if they have that kind of start against Fnatic, things are going to be hugely problematic.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're about to ready to get into this grand final here to make some noise. It's going to be Astralis starting on the CT side, Fnatic on the terrorist side. We've got 5 sets of armor for the Danes. Looking like they're going aggressive on short as well, but on the other side of the map, Fnatic going for straight up long control.
Device the only one in position as of right now to try and stop this. He'll get early read, early information. He's as well switched over to the P2000, so a number of people going back toward that gun. But Cajun B starting it off against Crims, Dupree on Olaf as well, but now it's Dupree that has to hold the A site because Device is lost at the top of the ramp towards CT, but Dupree taking down Dennis and flushing on Catwalk. It's all left on to poor JW. And he's going to fall back and as well on this. He does have bomb to work with, but with 4 players against him, and look at this. Cajun B already going for the information. There's not much he's going to do. Good shot as well from Cajun.
Crispy little shot there to finish off and get his hat-trick of the round as well. So Fnatic taking their long spawners, trying to swarm over that area and actually trying to boss their way up to the bomb side as well. But Dupree waiting there, takes down 2, and Cajun B, as I mentioned before, picking up a hat-trick as well. No bomb planted for Fnatic, so they will be going into this one with the force buy with Deagles and Tech 9s, it seems. JW joining in as well, so that's going to put them on a disadvantage if they don't win this round in terms of the AWP. Looking towards Astralis' buy. 5 rifles for them, not a single SMG. They're preparing themselves for potentially early rifles next round, but let's see what they can do here. 3 Famases and 2 M4s. There's not much utility. This is the problem going against these pistols.
And Fnatic going to slow things down as well. Olaf will start toward Catwalk. They brought Cajun B back out of middle, so they went 2-1-2 for the defense. And that way, if a B rush did come in with the pistols, they'd have a man already in position to try and help out inside of the site. But Fnatic are now trying to find these picks. We know they're more than capable with these pistols as well as Dupree. Just waiting to see if anyone's going to show. I thought he'd slowly work past and get a better angle on it, fall back down, but it's Olaf instead now with the Tech 9, and it's Device to go against him.
And the problem is right now, they don't have a flashbang to even get themselves up short here. Device just poised and ready on the A bomb site. Nice little angle as well. They won't be able to detect him as they're making their way out. They're going to be committed by the time they find him, and Cajun B is waiting with the flash as well to back him up.
Device is going to see them now. Gets the shots away. First one dead. 2 players dropped. No, just the first. It looked like Crims was going to go as well, but Olaf's dead inside of that CT spawn. He's been found by Cajun B, and the rest of them are getting shut down as well. So far, very little damage even dealt. As Dupree, the only one to take any of it, and it's only a little tiny fraction. 19 HP lost. Finally, though, Device will get shot by Crims, but he on 17 HP is doomed for death, and that will happen shortly.
Really nice setup there, really passive hold from Astralis coming in. Like I said, Device is holding that angle means by the time the T's actually have to get up to the A bomb, so they're fully committed, and what a commitment it was. The bomb gets dropped in the first kill. It's a perfect read from the CTs, and we have Cajun B backing him up from long as well. So very nice, clean, and clinical round there from Astralis. Going to pit Fnatic now onto pretty much a full eco. We have got 4 Glocks and a P250. Bomb is going to be on Crims here. Looking like they may be setting up for more of a B-side attack, but look at the aggression coming from the CTs. They want to farm with this Device's MP9. Looking towards lower B, it's Carrigan. He takes down 1, but decides to fall back here as Cajun B chimes into a grenade kill as well.
Device all the way up mid, trying to just take down Olaf. Needs to be a bit careful. Crims is gone to Cajun. Device going to try and catch Olafmeister before he gets away over toward B. JW, meanwhile, has gotten inside the A side undetected. That catches Dupree off guard, and suddenly the Glock with 1 kill at least does some economic damage. Olaf has been caught in the end. It's Zipix that does get there, but it's all JW. Bomb back in the lower tunnels. Not going to be grabbed by him anytime soon.
Yeah, not a single plant coming in here in the first 3 rounds for Fnatic. So you can see how it's going to affect the economy going forward. They are going to have to settle for AK-47s and Dust2. That can be quite detrimental. Obviously, very influential on this map. It's normally coined as the AWP playground on the other side of the pitch. So we've got Device picking up the AWP himself. They've got a decent bankroll as well. After buying the AWP, he's still got 4K. So let's see how he decides to go here. Want to be going for the mid phase at the start. No one to challenge him. And looking like it's a pretty default round coming in from Fnatic so far.
Kerrigan going to play close to the door as well, try and let Device open things up with the AWP. Dupree flashing into the long tunnel as well. That takes a bit of map control away from JW, gives him the information as well, but it's interesting that they've given up catwalk entirely, so we haven't seen this exact play from Astralis before. This is another new orientation to what they're trying to do to adapt on this A site. Fnatic forced to stay slow.
We have got Device with the AWP looking towards those mid doors. Can hear a lot of footsteps as well. Karrigan to back him up, looking for anyone to boost up towards shore here. He has got 3 Fnatic players waiting on the other side. It's looking like potentially a mid split coming in now.
Karrigan's going to have to be so careful in this position. He's waiting for a flash to come through. He dodges 2, and he's in a position to line them up, but the FAMAS can't do it. Smoke off on both right and left. There's so much room for Fnatic, and they compensate by giving up middle. So Xyp9x goes back inside of the B site.
They're basically segregating that area with those smokes, making sure they kill anyone close to the doors, and it works out perfectly. We have got one player from the CT reacting straight away. That's dupreeh, as the terrorists make their way towards the B-bomb site.
And it's Xyp9x only inside here. Already they're in. He's trying to just stay alive, fake the 4-on-1s, take the angles in his favor. He gets 1 kill out of it. That's all. JW too far forward. He couldn't figure out exactly where he was. Luckily, dupreeh did get 1 on that lurk on that flank, and they're going to try and go for this immediately. But watch cajunb, because as he comes through the tunnels, it's going to be Crims in a perfect position to catch him off when he goes by. Cajun's not even going to look this way, so this is a free kill. That makes it now 3 versus 2 inside the site as well, and on that, Device and dupreeh don't fancy their chances at all. They're going to run back and try and save the AWP.
Yeah, deciding to bow out of this round. That kill onto kajunb in tunnels is absolutely crucial. They need to have some sort of pincer potential there coming onto the bomb site. Crims in a very smart position, like he said, didn't even get checked. He picks up the free frag. And that was just a round of Fnatic biding the time. They knew they didn't have the potential to make any picks happen for them. So they actually went for, like I said, segregating the map towards middle, smoking towards the left and towards CT spawn. Means any AWPers from the B window can't actually do anything effective at that point. So Karrigan completely isolated off once the flashbangs came in. He goes down. They go back towards B. In they go, and the round fell apart. This Device does save an AWP though. So as I mentioned before, the economy was fairly strong after those 3 clean rounds to open the game up. So still not out of the woods just yet. I don't think Fnatic can get an AWP themselves. Not going to be getting it. It's going to be flusha on the UMP, of course, Matt. We've seen it a lot this tournament, and he's going to be continuing the trend here as we go into round number 5. Looking like more of a short play here coming in from Device. He's going to be boosted up with the AWP, and I assume he's going to be going aggressive towards the top and middle.
In position for it. Olaf down as well. Xyp9x gets that through the smoke, so good read by him. And Device was solo at mid the last time they ran this play yesterday. Karrigan actually took the peek in mid, but look at long. It's going to be a trade. dupreeh with only the first kill, and Device getting that back forces the CTs off of catwalk because there's no one there to anchor that position. And Flush is a little bit hesitant to try and cross back over inside of middle because he's not sure exactly what's on the other side of the doors, nor do they have any read on the top of mid from catwalk. But eventually, he's going to try and get in position with his 2 teammates.
That was a really interesting approach from Fnatic there. They went for 2 players rushing in straight into B with a smoke, trying to find that first pick. It's actually Xyp9x that finds that first frag, and then they lose another one towards long as well. So this is a difficult round now for Fnatic. This would be a hard reset to lose this round, so let's see what they can do with it. Dennis and flusha, relatively low HP. All 3 players towards middle, but Karrigan coming in towards lower B here could be very dangerous indeed if he gets the timing right. Crims flashing over towards middle, boosting up as well. Perfect time for Karrigan to face right now. He is going to be detected. Crims takes him down and neutralizes this down to a 3-on-3.
Crims. Great find for him. Once again, Fnatic, when they slow the pace, they find the opening. They're always capable of getting back into any situation. And now with this approach toward B, Xyp9x, who started off with a kill through the smoke, is going to have to hold, and he's going to change his angle, get toward the car instead. kajunb is going to hold off mid when Dennis pushes through, but he's not going to be close enough to get a trade kill in favor. That does work out, though. They stop the mid-approach, and Xyp9x just mows them down. That's perfect from Astralis.
Really nice round there. Like I said before, it's an interesting approach for Fnatic. They must have had a decent B spawn to take those audacious plays into the site with just 2 players as well. They get taken down, and this lovely little angle here from Xyp9x, what I was about to say, looks good for at least 1 kill. He manages to pick up 2. So looking at the money towards Fnatic, definitely could be a justified force buy for them. But they're actually being a little bit more conservative, not the Fnatic we're used to perhaps, as they go for just Desert Eagles here, knowing that they can actually have a nice clean buy next round, potentially want to bring out the AWP map. So Astralis continue format. That is a hard reset for Fnatic, and you can see full buy coming in for Astralis. It's going to be flusha answering back to kajunb, who pushed off short. And it's going to be a 4-on-4 now.
dupreeh's going to try and take back that position, though, and just get a second rifle on that catwalk. Needs to be a little bit careful, though. They've given up A. This gives JW and Crims some movement. Bomb, though, is at the B tunnels.
This is dangerous, you know.
This is very dangerous. Watch this dupreeh. He's going to get flanked right now. As soon as he looks toward the bottom tunnels, in they come from behind. Crims is a little bit late to get immediately on top of that kill, and thankfully Astralis do clean up the other two fast enough that they can turn back and figure out exactly what was going on. Crims goes low on the nades, but that could have been disastrous.
That was textbook, though, from Astralis. They read the situation very well. They kind of spotted what we were talking about. We've lost long control. We've lost the A bomb site. We need to retake through middle now, work together and get these kills in lower B, get the bomb down as well, and it's going to be a simple procedure to finish things off. Karrigan gets the last kill there, and Astralis hold on strong after losing that initial trade as Cajun B went down on pushing towards short A. So looking at the buy now, as expected, JW will be picking up the AWP, and this is where the fun begins now. We'll see what he can bring to the table.
This is also the ideal start, that 3-1 reset round, so it takes some time, even if there's no bomb plant here, even if they win this round, they won't be able to buy in perfect fashion. So Astralis have a chance here again to limit the economy. JW trying to go for that mid pick. Nobody gets tagged up, down to 24 HP. That's a shot from Device, but as they do this, as they leave that AWP in mid, Fnatic's going to try and go quickly toward Catwalk because they now know the AWP is not watching from car. However, as they do get slowed down, Device has rotated accordingly, and this is smart. Now he's in a prime position. Olaf, is he going to go for the drop strategy? Smoke's already in place. It looks like potentially they will. The second smoke tries to get them further toward quad, and they get Crimson at an angle, so Device gets obliterated the second they walk through. Not only that, JW wins on Cajun B. So fortunately, Dupree's still in pit. It gives them some retake potential, and he gets Olaf because of it, but JW's smarter than that. He'll find Karrigan in middle, and now with bomb down, it's a 3 versus 2. And both of Astralis' players are very separate. Dupree's going to go solo at this point because Zipic still hasn't figured out where JW's gone. And a flash up, he's going to be spotted. No, not quite. It looked like Crims would go for the peak, but he's going to get him regardless as he gets close to the site. And Zipic's quick nade in should get one, but that's only one. There's still 2 more to find. And that bomb planted for Catwalk means they don't have the perfect angle on it, but he still has to take the fight. Low HP on JW, but Dennis is going to hold it together, and Fnatic will win the round just barely with 1 gun left.
Very close stuff there from Zipex. He likes to win those kind of clutches. We talk about it all day long. And it all came down to that initial shot from Crims. Right on your screen now. That's a shot Device should be hitting. Normally you see him position himself towards Cart. It's a little bit more of a tricky angle up there. But it's Crims who comes out on top and opens up that A bomb site. We saw Dupree back towards long, but unfortunately JW just holding all the flanks. Gets that first pick towards long, goes back towards middle and stops any sort of chance of the CTs coming through mid and getting up towards short. So round number 2 coming in favour of Fnatic now. It's still a full buy for Astralis. Device back on the AWP is going to be boosting onto short once again. Like Fnatic actually favouring towards long.
Dupree, though, flashed himself back toward that pit. Can't land the shot on Flush. He's low HP. He knows it. Come on, you've got to get this kill. And finally, he will. He gives his team the lead. Not only that, Crims low as well, 23 HP.
Now the bomb is towards upper B here. Potentially could set themselves up for another mid attack. You see Karrigan and Zipex are poised there. And the only problem is they have the man disadvantage. The smoke towards CD spawn, and JWs do try work a pick here.
Karrigan waiting for that flash to bounce off the arch on the wall and then pop out for the immediate peek. Flash goes, he's around the corner, but he spots 3 and he re-peeks it. Peculiar enough, I figured he would just run away at that. Get the information to go, and this is a problem because Zipex comes out to try and fight the battle his teammate had lost. He loses it as well, and the B site's given up.
Yeah, you can see Fnatic just ready for what Karrigan does there with that pop flash. 2 players with their back turned, and we can see Dupree coming in from T-spawn, Cajun being Device, ready to retake it. JW waiting though, perfect read as he takes him down, and now the CT's looking like they have no option but to save once again.
Absolutely, so second time they've taken B, similar situation that 2 guns have to be saved, and similar to the Cajun B death this time, it was Dupree coming from the other angle and dying inside of B tunnels, and they don't even attempt to try and go through the window and door without.
This is the problem for Astralis. That's the second time now where Karrigan's gone down without a frag whatsoever. He's just by himself towards middle. I'd prefer it to play more of a defensive setup towards middle. If Fnatic have worked out this is a serious issue for them. They're getting that first frag, getting into that B split, and it's just poor Zipex
and it's
winning the B side from that point.
Essentially the same thing G2 did as well. So this is how, I mean, it's a fine balance. As soon as you strengthen mid, you obviously weaken A, and Fnatic's going to be wise enough to read that as well. But the rounds they have put Device in middle early, there's been no applied pressure from Fnatic or a pick for Astralis, which has slowed things down. So it might be worth it to try and evaluate that further. Device will have the op, obviously saved from the last round into this one. However, it's just the one M4 to complement it because the others have forced onto pistols to keep their money even. Dupree, the most powerful of which on the Deagle.
Well, it's looking like Device with that AWP trying to make something happen here. Does go for the face towards middle, and actually I think he tagged Olofmeister as well. We just missed that, but it's going to be repositioned now up towards short. And Fnatic not really showing their hand just yet. They're going to be in towards lower B with the bomb. Looking for any sort of aggression there from the CTs. Just going to be Device trying to work something here with the tight angle on short. Dupree pushing into the long doors. Just trying to get anything with their pistols.
Device pop flash drop to CT. That gives up Catwalk, gives Cajun a little more support, and because Cajun's down in CT as well, they've pulled Kerrigan back inside of the B site, so they've got strength in middle this time, and watch them try and go through, though. The Device is in a forward angle. Device tries the first shot through the doorway, has to fall back and recock the AWP. Kerrigan's going to fall as well, so they actually give it up, but fortunately they don't give up any men in doing so, so it's still not a terrible situation for Astralis. In fact, Fnatic know that, they read that, and they don't want to get stuck inside middle and pincered on, so they'll fall back as well.
You can see they're just waiting for the action on that. They know where Device is. They're going to see where he repositions himself. But look at this setup towards long. We have got Dupree, and he's going to be pushing out long doors now. But the problem is Flusher is waiting for him. This should be the first frag coming in. There it is. Flusher takes him down and brings it into the 5-on-4.
JW try and open up as well on toward Catwalk as Dennis getting another kill, but Device is at car this time. He finds the quick shot. No one dropping yet. There's 2 players in CT, so it might not be the easiest strategy. Crims is gone as well, and Device, there's a smoke on the platform, but he's still got a gap toward JW. His 2 teammates gone already in CT, though, as they walk out and get shut down immediately, and Device will follow immediately after. Fnatic now on 4, just 1 round the difference.
Got a bit scary there when Device set up on towards the long corner. We talk about that being one of his bread and butter positions. Does take down 2 frags, but we can see now the reaction from Fnatic. This is something they actually roll quite a lot on their T-side. You know, double AWP setup coming in. JW and Olaf. Olaf can be very powerful with the AWP indeed. So let's see what they can bring to the table here. You assume they're going to have attacks as they cross. Not going to land anything just yet. And looking like more favouring the B side of the map this time. We have got 1 player towards long. It's going to be Crims. The Bomber's making his way towards tunnels now.
That's Device this time instead inside of B, so they've completely changed the approach. They've put the AWP somewhere it's not yet been. Cajun's going to boost Dupree, so they're trying slightly different things here. A little bit more inventive from Astralis than we formerly used to see. Crims actually gets a read on that. He tries to pre-fire this. He's got the crosshair lined up. Dupree still holds true, and Device does get the kill on B, so already 2 prongs of the approach down for Fnatic.
Really nice adjustment there from Astralis. We see Dupree boosted up on that long blue box. It's an unorthodox position. Chucking it in once a half is perfect to get that 1 frag and fall back. Dupree takes quite a lot of damage, but they've got the 5-on-3 in their favour. Double AWPs still remain, though. JW and Dennis salvaging Olaf's.
But here's the thing. They don't have the information at this point, so they still have 3 players on A, which means Kerrigan and Device are going to be the ones under threat.
Device needs to hit this.
They absolutely need to hit their shots. Device missing the first one, gets them a little bit closer up the corridor. Dennis absolutely obliterates him. Kerrigan can't find Flush over top of the smoke just yet, and Flush is going to go down surely once Kerrigan does spot him, but he doesn't hit the shot. Come on, Kerrigan finally puts him down. That buys so much time, though. Dennis in position as well with the AWP. Bomb goes down. And there's only 2 players left for Fnatic this time, so the most opportune moment for a retake, but JW takes the issue to hand and peeks out, catches Cajun B off guard before he can get set. He may do it again to Xyp9x. He does! That's absolutely insane that he's got that much courage. And what a difference it makes, because it was a 3-on-2 for the retake. Wow. They can't even get that far.
They just look so comfortable in that B-bomb. So like I said, Device needed to get at least one of those guys. You said it, when they had the A setup there, they didn't no real presence towards the B-bomb side, just relying on that turret setup on the B-bomb side. The guys were talking about it on the desk before. It should be an angle where you're good for at least 1 kill. Device in that platform area, though, fully committed when he's crouched behind the barrel. He misses that first shot. He's pretty much done for. He gets taken out by Dennis, and then they just come in with these tag team AWP combos, just facing and hitting ridiculous shots on the Cajun B and CT spawn. And it's going to be a very depressing round there for Astralis to drop. Fnatic tie things up now, 5-5, and actually breaking the economy of the CTs as well. Here's a shot that Device had to hit, goes to the reface, and this is where he's punished. 2 AWPs just waiting for him. And Kerrigan, I felt like he had to do better in that situation as well. Yep. Like, he had that shot a little bit quicker. He could have actually had more time to rotate and work out what's going on, but there we go. Dupree was the last player to remain, and Xyp9x gets his head blown off through the door as he crosses towards B. Kerrigan getting tagged as well. A lot of damage inflicted here.
But the only rifle, and they're trying to use this aggressively. It's Dupree. He misses the shots, though. That gives away his position, so he can't surprise all of them. They've already turned back. They bring a pistol up to support it. But good response as Olaf just walks down suicide. Thank you very much. Cajun B gone as well. It's just Kerrigan Device, just pistols. JW as well going to be using just a P250 because the AWP he didn't favor. He thought he might get approached from 2, and it's just Device now, so he'll go back to the P250. Nade damage should put him within range, and JW will close it out. And Fnatic take control quite fiercely in this game. They've got money to buy, and it's going to be Kerrigan that buys up the AWP now. Is that going to be dropped to Device, or are they going to go double? I think they're going to go double.
I think that would be a good response at this stage, yeah. So the double AWPs that are coming in, you can see the mid's been a serious problem from that. Means they'll probably go more defensive towards middle, and they'll actually play the AWP maybe a window or the back of platform, and leave middle to be open to actually allow the T's to come out, and they'll rotate accordingly. But this double AWP setup from Fnatic, they've had 5 rounds in a row now. Since that came out, it's been so effective, and especially in the clutch situation. You see Dennis, tempting fate. They wanted to go in for another rush towards B, going to get flashed out of position there, but Crims has made it out towards middle already. This is what I'm talking about, more passive setup from the CTs, and these does spot one towards the crossover. Falling back though, gained a little bit of intel there. Device falling back, but it's Olaf Meister to pick things up here. That's in towards B. That's the first orb drops. And now Fnatic with all to play for.
Through the smoke. Fnatic never scared. They're going to try and see above it. Quick little jump for Olaf. Xyp9x should be able to hear this, though, and he's actually going to flash in, but there's 4 players, so welcome to the party. You were not invited.
Yeah, Xyp9x has had to react. He had to try and make something happen, do a play, get a double kill through the smoke. This round is just completely out of control now for Astralis. It was Karrigan nominated as the secondary AWPer for the Dust2, but he gets taken out straight away by Olaf, and the kills just falling like flies as well. We can see Xyp9x did push through to try and make something happen. Dupree takes down Flusher, but it's an arbitrary kill at this point. They're just trying to save their weapons and defend themselves as you assume Fernando will come hunting. This is the problem now. This is when Fnatic, they always seem to have this kind of slowish start, like they go down like by 5-1 or something, then it is going lights out and they start going absolutely crazy. And you'll see the money building slowly but surely. We can see JW on 10k, Olaf on 9, so their money's absolutely fine as they go up to 7-5 here. Really answering back, but he will be burnt alive, and Device now giving his position away. You would assume Crim, well, that's Device capitalizing and will survive as well. So another AWP saved. They haven't really been able to make something happen with these AWP saves so far, but they have enough to force with Famases or maybe upgraded pistols, and they're actually going to go for the straight-up force here, Matt. So M4's AWP, it comes down to Device again. He needs to make something happen here. Currently on 6 for 6 after 12 rounds. Hasn't been the most successful campaign for him considering the context. Let's see how they enter round number 13.
Any difference of approach? It's 3 in B. So they are actually trying to respond to this issue. The sieve at the B site. Device not going to fall back after the early presence on the A, so they take the 2 initial choke points that would get most commonly pressed early in a round, and then they try and slide back into a more, I guess, similar to default setup, still with the 3 on B, mind you, but with the op at car, crucially for Device.
Even though they have 3 players at B right now, you can just see the distinct lack of utility, and they're going to have to struggle to hold off the terrorists if they just opt to go through middle once again. Dupree doing what he can towards long, showing some presence towards the doors, trying to rattle off some shots through the smoke there. Not going to be successful as of yet, but Fnatic just biding their time. You can see the bomb making his way up towards short. That's going to be Olaf with the AWP as well, just seeing if he can clear out every angle, piece by piece, and see if they can enter the bomb side. But Device holding towards long. He'll be kind of switching between long and short here and seeing whether he can find that first pick and get the rotations in.
And if either of these 2 players on A go down, the stack at B is rendered useless. But if they can get the first kill, they might actually influence Fnatic to go that direction. So Flusha trying to go right now on Catwalk and get more detailed information is actually quite critical in this situation. That actually indicates to me they do want to go B. That's just a fake smoke.
It's A fake coming in right now, another B split coming in.
And then over-commitment. Xyp9x, he wants the information, but that takes the stack apart before it even applies. He was in such a good spot at the car as well, and KGB's left the site to go out and help at middle. It just falls apart. It was the patience just ran out for Astralis.
So they show the hand towards short. Smokes go down to imply they're crossing over the flashbangs, and then it's just a fast execute for middle. Middle's been a massive problem for the CT so far. They only had Famasis and M4s to hold it off. Unfortunately, it was Device towards A, and as I said, that he gets dropped as well. Dupree going to be the last player remaining now. Once again, in towards T-Spawn. He is the long player, but no real options into this round. It's going to be JW and Crims picking up the kills this time. And 1 remaining for Astralis as Fnatic continue the rampage here. It's going to be 7 rounds in a row. As Dupree now outside B tunnels could actually take down JW here. Should be a relatively simple frag. May get a double as well, but Flusher denies him. And there we go. Fnatic looking very strong indeed so far.
Money is insane.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it is racking up. You can see Olaf on 12k now. And on the other hand, Astralis, not the same story, I'm afraid. They are a maximum loss bonus, sure, but that's only $3,400 coming into the bank accounts each time, so can't really justify much more than some Desert Eagles here. These guys are fantastic Desert Eagle players, especially Device and Dupree, but let's see what they can do with this round. Xyp9x getting tagged once again.
So 7 rounds straight for Fnatic, and remember 5-1, they had a chance to really limit the economy, and now it's swelled. Double up still, as you mentioned. Dupree going to go to Catwalk, try and force the issue, so again, Astralis trying to continue on with this trend of being a little bit more aggressive in these situations, but right now Fnatic just sitting back with 2 in spawn, making sure no one does push out from long. They're ready for these setups. And 3 just going to walk into B right now with the weapons.
Yeah, this is perfect, considering he just got pistols to go against. Just making sure they're playing a contact setup. Easy shot from Olaf there. Just completely destroys Karrigan in the back of B. Now only going to be 1 player remaining. He's actually going to opt out of the run. That's Zipex on low HP as well. So a simple procedure, clinical round from Fnatic. A couple of players low HP, but the bomb should be planted momentarily, and that's going to tie things up.
Yeah, Olaf going to put that down, flash over as well, so Zipex can't even consider taking a quick peek, not to mention the smoke on the doorway, so he'll fire through that in hopes of finding someone on the other side, give themselves a better chance. Dupree does get 1.
That's a T-spawn, though.
Yeah, but it picks up an AWP, which is actually interesting enough.
It's definitely valuable going into the next round. They're going to be more than capable of buying them, but it definitely just helps going forward to just kind of beef up.
They're going to chase this, though. They already know it's gone. They already know the situation. Whether or not they get there in time, though, Crimson and Flusha have a chance to, but it doesn't look like they're actually that aggressive about it.
Well, he is in towards a long pit right now. You can see, like you said, they probably have a good idea of where he is. They don't have the flashbangs there to really challenge it. They have to time this perfectly. It's going to be first player, Flusha, going for the Deagle headshot. Unfortunately, he gets taken down, but Crims answers back straight away, and there is the AWP drops. Unfortunately, won't be able to take that into the next round. But like I said, maximum loss bonus now, and that save.
Oh, you took the sign. I love it.
I Olaf you, Matt.
I Olaf you too.
Well, then we can cast together forever.
Forever and ever.
Until we die. I'm not going to die.
You are immortal. I'm going to die next week on the other hand.
Oh god, it's happening again. The auto snipers, the orbs, then it's just an absolute bloodbath towards middle. So much damage inflicted as Zipex drops first. And there it is. We've seen it before in many grand finals, and they're doing it again here in round number 15.
And then the immediate ensuing pressure onto that B site applied, given the lost man, but Karrigan holds true. He gets a shot, so does Device. Double up set up toward that site, and Karrigan now onto JW. Taste your own medicine, Fnatic, as the scoped rifles favor Astralis in this one. Bomb still in the possession of Dennis, and they're going to try and push through this. Device takes the AK. Bomb dropped again. Last player low HP. It's Flusha with 6. And Astralis, well, it took them a while. They'll get a 6th round out of this. Flusha will do what he can with the time that he has. He's got enough of it to waste, but Astralis aren't going to be careless about this. They'll just sit and wait. The smoke as well just shows how careful they want to be as they set up around this.
They definitely don't want to drop this round. They've been absolute
exactly
nightmare, right? So Flush is going to be the last remaining player. This final round will be going in favor of Astralis, even after that opening pick from Flush through the doors. So all of the auto snipers, you thought, oh, they're actually going to do some serious work here, but they pick up the AKs, and it's actually Karrigan and Device doing the work there. Karrigan finally coming to life in that B and slash mid area. He's had a very quiet game after those. Before those 2 frags, he only had 5 frags, Matt, and he's been in the pivotal positions towards middle and B, which have been heavy areas of contention. So this round is just waiting for it to end right now. There's literally no chance of Flusha winning this, but boost your own scoreboard. That definitely helps in doing that as he takes down Karrigan, but only 20 seconds remain. I'd love to build a storyline that he might be able to do this, but there it is. Device will be the one to finish him off, and it's 9-6 in favor of Fnatic, and considering they went down 5-1 in the early stages of this game, that's actually pretty impressive that Astralis only managed to get 1 after they got that double AWP setup rolling. It was actually very, very strong indeed. So then, we go into the next phase.
Here we go again. Why not? Why not? I mean, that's
it's always a bit awkward when it doesn't happen. It's just like, well, they could actually be brother and sister, so they're not actually going to kiss each other. That's
true, right? It's just an assumption by the production team. But about to get underway in the second half this round already. Armor bought up on 3 Astralis players, so they're going with 2 utility. It's Karrigan with a Molotov and smoke, and Zipex with a smoke 2 flash against 4 armored opponents and Crims with a kit.
I like this, though. Like, a lot of teams have been buying 5 sets of armor on the CT side, but I think you need to have the diffuse kit just to kind of, even if we have the extra 5 seconds, I like the fact you can actually buff yourself a little bit, and the HE is perfect as well. When you know they're planting or kind of have a retake going on, HE can be so valuable in pistol rounds. So let's see how Astralis do approach this round. As you said, 2 smoke grenades coming in, and looking like they're going for a little bit of mid-control here. Occasion B waiting to be flashed in, it seems. And there goes the smoke, and potentially going to follow it as well. Actually going to be opting to go up towards short here, so potential A attack. They do have a Molotov for the bomb site and a smoke for the crossover as well, but Flusha waiting there. So deadly in these positions. Will be actually opting out of that.
Flusha's going to try and get up ramp with the pistol in better position, but Dupree hits the shot instead. That means Olaf has to wait for the rotations. Smoke deployed. He wants to try and get information to see if he can spot one on the cross. Dupree gets by. Device is going to hold that angle. JW, meanwhile, wants to take back Catwalk, crucially so, because the bomb is planted for it. And he pushes in with the USP. Zipex in behind the stairwell. It's a good setup, a good crossfire position with he and Karrigan. As Olaf and Dennis coming in from long. Olaf's got KGB. That starts to divide and conquer because now JW with distraction can walk up from catwalk. So thankfully Xyp9x hits that shot. And the two remaining on the platform though, they've gone down. Olaf, he hits 2 quick shots very fast in succession. And now Xyp9x has to try and fight back into this.
Oh my god. Are you kidding right now?
I was going to say the bomb's already being defused, but it doesn't matter when Dennis hits that.
Dennis and Olafmeister, the pistol masters, somehow come back into that round, looking like they were completely locked out of the A bomb site. Astralis had a full lockdown on short there, with a short plant as well. 3 players contesting, getting frags, and then somehow from CD spawn, Olaf's coming up and killing 3 people. Dennis from long as well, backing him up. And that's going to be such a bitter pill for Astralis to swallow there. They do get a bomb down. We'll be getting AKs in the 3rd round here, but that's a round they should be winning, Matt. They had full control of that. And it's a little bit of a blunder, I have to say. And they allow that to slip by. But there we go. Carrigan just with the Glock and a smoke grenade here. You assume that's going to be a smoke towards CD spawn perhaps. Try and swarm out, trying for the first frag. Not many options. They have got a Deagle and a P250. Device makes his way up towards short, but oh, that one's going to sting.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a huge round to lose when it's 9-6. And you're that far behind now. As it is. Flusha holding with Famas out toward car. They are stacking up on this catwalk position. Xyp9x going to be the only one to approach it long, and he's dead already. Dennis absolutely wins that duel hands down with the Famas. And same should be applied to catwalk. However, the first kill in that position goes to KGB, so it sits 4 versus 4. They're forced to give up the site. This now means 2 bomb plants in 2 successive rounds, and not much of a buy here. So Astralis are going to be in good shape on the next round.
A heavy rifle buy does mean they didn't have the HE to stop them after they attacked that much damage. That's in terms of Fnatic. So the bomb does get planted for sure here. It should be a simple retake coming in from Fnatic, but they just wanted the bomb Astralis just to boost their money for next round. They do it, and they should have a really healthy buy. You know, they actually may be able to be in contention for an AWP here on the 3rd round. Let's see where they're going to lie. So we can see 5K pretty much across the board, 5,500 on Xyp9x specifically. So they actually have the advantage in some senses here. We can see CTs do have money on JW to drop an AWP as well. He's going to pick it up, so they're anticipating this. They've read the situation. 2 bomb plants in a row definitely does help the T's out here. Device pulling it out, and he felt like this round is going to be one of the defining ones of the game.
Device doesn't look for the early pick. He drops to try and play a slightly more fortunate or favorable angle from his position, but look at this approach, JW. As soon as he goes and he hits the bunny hop, he actually goes full Guardian on that one, but Device was holding the angle, waits for it, gets the pick instead, and now Astralis have a foot in the round. And as you said, a very crucial one, not to mention the remaining players on Famas's against the AKs.
When he hit that bunny hop, I thought that was it. He's going to do something absolutely crazy here. But Olafmeister with the reaction, trying to pick up the AWP. I don't think he got it. So he's going to be falling back as he did get flashed off here. But Astralis with a heavy advantage considering they have the AKs up against 3 Famases here. Should be around a afford to throw away as they do make their way up towards shore here. KGB is clearing out every angle, doesn't want to let anything slip.
And Olaf and Dennis have elected to put 2 toward long so they can at least cover off and not lose that part of the map. They'll give up A in doing so. But then they would play the retake game. Slow approach from Astralis, though, changes the mind of Olaf. He's going to come back around. The 2 at B are anchored in the site, but there's no one really evaluating that. There's 51 seconds. There's a chance that they could do so. But Kerrigan's actually already positioned in tunnels to try and cut off rotations. This is going to be an A-take as Astralis do work in. Molotov already to clear it. Drop down. Olaf was ready for that, though, so Dupree, he basically just plays martyr and gets information at the best case scenario. And now they'll sit and wait, Fnatic. This is all about timing. This is all about retake.
It's all about Carrigan. He gets one. If he gets a double here, that's the round secured. He gets a triple! Fantastic stuff from Carrigan. Being quiet in the first half, but that's absolutely vital here for Astralis. And Dennis now in a 4-on-1. We saw him in such a key position there, and Carrigan delivering the goods just when it mattered.
And Dennis is going to try and get away. He'll be found by Kerrigan, who gets his 4th kill in the round. What a play. He set up immediately for that. Once they knew they had catwalk, he just went and burrowed into those tunnels for that exact reason, and it all came perfectly into his favor. And even Olaf, he went back from being inside CT and thought, all right, if we're going to retake, let's do it with strength, let's do it together, and just absolutely gets shut down.
Massive round there for Astralis. You can see how that's affected Fnatic as well. They're actually being pretty disciplined this game. Like most games, we'd see them force buying every situation and just trying to grind the terrorists down here, but they're actually just going to be going some upgraded pistols. Dennis has justified some head armor here. We've got the AWP back on towards Device. He picks towards long, does spot one of the CTs there, but unable to land any damage just yet. Got a passive mentality here. They want to make sure they don't throw a single frag away. They have established they're up against the Desert Eagles here. And Dennis now, as I mentioned before, one of the strongest pistol players in the game right now. It's going to be KGB and Dupree, though, to deal with him and take down JW at the same time. So 5-on-3 now, pretty much a guaranteed round for Astralis here. It's just going to be how expensive Fnatic can make it for them.
And it looks like Crims will be the one to get challenged initially, as Kerrigan slowly works in that direction. Device with Bomb and Dupree and KGB looking to get out middle. So Crims inside of the site has the Deagle to play with. Still to deploy the utilities because they don't want a crossfire situation where they get locked down inside of mid. Crims already doing decent damage, but in they come. They try and apply the pressure. He nearly gets a chance to get the shot back into Dupree in turn, but that now means the B site's gone. And it'll just be exits for Fnatic as they try and just do economic damage, potentially pick up rifles themselves.
That's the thing, they can't really do much for this now. They were just trying to make this round expensive for Astralis, but not going to happen. As we do see Astralis get their 8th round on the board. There's going to be Olofmeister dropping as well. Just flush up remains now. Astralis want to make sure they don't drop a single man here as they do go into round of 20 with a victory. We'll have a look at the cash for Fnatic. Should be able to get a reasonable buy into the next round and see Dennis Meister with $3,100 right now. And just a full save coming in for Astralis now. Not a single weapon drop whatsoever. It's going to be...
you say that.
Yeah, just as I say that. That's the orb drop. They do manage to pick it up, and the buy is going to be okay for Fnatic. You can see JW is on $3,400. That's not fantastic. But when has this stopped this team before? They're more than happy to bring out UMPs and have fun with those kind of weapons. There's going to be a Max 7 this time on towards JW. Definitely a veteran with the shotguns. And we'll see what they can bring to the party here. Not a single AWP though. Going to be 4 and 4s and Max 7. And Device continuing the AWP duties here.
I love that JW is going to try and get close with this shotgun as well and let Crims play bait in the back site, get him the information. As you say, crucially, no AWP. So Olaf to play inside CT spawn. JW getting even more aggressive than that. Bombs all the way back in T spawn. So this is all about pressure and evaluation right now from Astralis, and they want to go through completely clean on this. They want to try and find the peak, then put down the utility, and they nearly get Olaf looking down, expecting a flash. I think he was actually trying to find his footing on the box, so we get the back corner, the very last pixel, so he could go for the drop. But now the smokes will come out.
They know where he is now, so he's going to be smoked off and vision taken away from the CTs as they actually make their way up towards shore here. It's going to be Dupree waiting. 1 minute remains. Smoked out for now. It's going to bleed in the CTs dry here. Device trying to do what he can in the mid doors as well. As it's looking like Astralis setting up for an air attack.
Flusher's in prime position with the M4. Doesn't have a ton of support from Dennis. He's actually all the way down at long, so Olaf in the drop position is going to come up crucial. Molotov off. He's blinded. Flusher, and there's a player to his left. He has no idea. Zipix is already, or rather Dupree was already there. Zipix got the kill. And now they'll sit and hold, but watch Dennis to try and just buy time to sit and wait. Again, Olaf can't get through that smoke lowered on, and they're going to go for the cat approach, or they're going to save.
I think at this point, save. You can see there's no kits on the team. They've lost the first pick. The bomb's just been planted. A really nice approach from Astralis there. Clinical round. They're pretty much default execution there. Smoke down towards CD spawn. Dupree jumps down and flashes the A ramp as he's doing it. He gets that first pick, and as I said, the CTs really have no footing into this round whatsoever. They've got a Mag 7, no orbs, no kits. It's more valuable to save these weapons, keep the armor, and bring something more interesting to the next round. So Astralis clawing their way back here. Scoreline's going to be 11 plays 9. They managed to keep 5 players alive once again. That's really crucial in terms of building up the bankroll here. It's going to be 1 kill required.
Every time you say that, Henry.
As I say that, it literally goes down, doesn't it?
Yep. But they keep 4 up. I mean, crucially as well, though, for Fnatic, they do have a decent save off of this, so we know it's going to be a heads-up round in the next. The difference is, though, as you said, for Astralis, they're starting to build the bank, so it's still break potential against Fnatic in this next round.
Well, this is the thing. They need buy up for 1 player. That's going to be Flusher, but as I mentioned, he's more than happy to be on the slightly cheesier weapons.
Actually, I do take this back because they actually have the third. This will be the 4th round bonus, and they set at 26, so they'll buy next round Fnatic no matter what.
So he's set up for a CZ here. So 4 rifles, and no one decided to buy a kit. It's an interesting decision not to pick up just 1. But we enter round number 21 now. We'll see what the approach is from Astralis. Obviously, they have no real idea as to whether the AWP has come back out, but they know 4 weapons were saved. Going to be aggression towards long as Dennis is firing off shots towards the long doors there. And they slowly once again make their way towards shore, but this time Olofmeister waiting in a more aggressive position.
And Flusher directly behind him as well. Olaf will just throw a nade out instead and then fall back. That does decent damage on the Device. But still, Zipix waiting at long. Could try and do battle with Dennis this time. That would be the difference in the approach from the last round. If if they do go onto this catwalk. However, as we've already noted too, look at this defense. Fnatic, Olaf still here. The Flames, he can see above them. He does again massive damage. Doesn't get the kill, but Dupree on 15. And Cajun on 34. Things are starting to look better and better for Fnatic if they elect to walk into this. And with 3 players on this site, instead, they want the AWP in position. Might as well let the big gun try and open up the round for them rather than lose members on the way in.
This is the thing, after losing so much damage there, they need to find the first pick at least. Still with no real control of the map, and you can see 35 seconds, time's ticking away now. Need to decide where they're going with this. Bomb is currently still towards middle, making his way towards short, and that first pick from Flusher, of course, he just faces, takes down Device as well.
They're going to go on this regardless. Jump shot from Flusher with the pistol that time. Puts him further back inside CT, so it's Olaf instead that has to find the angle. And it's with the M4. Dennis, they still got the 2-team punch here at long, and he's actually going to turn back and find Dupree. It's falling apart very quickly from Astralis' side. Finally, Cajun with a kill. They can try and go for the plant. JW is just waiting on this box for a chance. Doesn't go for the jump, but he'll hold an angle if anyone dares approach and peek aggressively from on the platform. As Dennis and Olaf are going to come from that approach at long. Molotov goes out. It's going to segregate the two, but Olaf's ahead of it, and Olaf's got Cajun immediately on arrival. It's on Zippix on the site. AWP from Kerrigan has catwalk, but Zippix needs to stay alive. He gets the first kill on JW. Still trying to weave behind this box. Looks for the second headshot. Can't find it. Kerrigan, meanwhile, though, does get one more kill. And now he can try to play the bomb. He's going to switch to the AK. But he's low on HP. He can't take this peek. He's overfaced at the wide peek, and he still gets it. Crims, he can't hit the shot, and Astralis get the round.
Looks like Fnatic had that one tied up. They had a heavy man advantage going into it. So much damage done as well, but Zipex and Kerrigan holding strong there. One on the site, one covering from short as well. Kerrigan just able to do absolute work here. Comes down to the one-on-one. He won it regardless because, as I said before, Crims didn't have the kit. No one decided to buy a single one there for the CTs. And Astralis now edging themselves closer and closer, bringing things to 11-10. We do have the AWP this time back onto JW. A Flusher once again just on that CZ.
Device having a pretty quiet game, it has to be said. He was started off strong when they had that good run of momentum at the very beginning of this, but he's been silent on the op since, and that's crucial because this op battle against JW, although they haven't necessarily been confronting each other directly, is still significant because we know JW can open up rounds. He can get that first impact kill, and if Device isn't doing that, it's actually hindering in some chances. KGB is going to go through middle, all 3 players with him. Device being one of them is going to try and go for that early pick towards CT, smoke it late, and then they're going to pinch toward B. And they've actually already got that successfully done because there's no one to be in position toward the A site and rotate fast enough, so they just have to win the duels. Crims is going to hold the window. They can't get the shot on him just yet, but they need to win the tunnels in order to do so. It's Flusha that's actually getting the better of that exchange. Finally, they'll put him down, and the late rotations will begin.
Yeah, they're blocking themselves towards the window there as far as a little bit of a fumble, but they managed to make the frags work, and Zipex does take down Olafmeister, bringing it to a 3-on-2 favor in favor of Astralis.
And bomb plant was late there. If Olaf picked up that kill, they actually could have prevented anything from happening. It does put him low on HP and get the Fnatic players in better positions for this retake, but a good Molotov will buy them more time, further that up, and Fnatic's got to get a little bit frustrated by that.
No kits again as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a bailout. That's the ticket to leave, and they'll do just that. So 10 now to 11 rounds for Astralis. Money, Fnatic's side. They're going to have a full loss round bonus, but with those 2 guns saved, they should be able to get FAMASas if they elect to.
Yeah, they could balance it out with FAMASas, as you said, but definitely will be another week by going forward. Need to elect what they're going to be doing going forward. JW does send on Zipex through the doors, but at this stage, it's kind of arbitrary. You can see how much money that Astralis have got. 12k on towards Zipex, Device on 11k, and I like that approach from them towards middle. Just actual a contact play. Instead of actually telegraphing it and doing really early smokes over the top, just walking out and checking every angle, making it towards the B ramp, and then just before they execute, they smoke towards CD spawn. As I said, getting into that window looked like a bit it was going to be problematic as Crims was waiting below. They're kind of blocking each other as they went into it. And we do have the pause coming in now. These are the legendary grand final Fnatic pauses, Matt. We know what this means normally.
Yep.
This is going to be the take a pause of 2 minutes to kind of sit down and kind of discuss what's happened the last 5 rounds, why have Astralis been taking so much control, and we'll work out what we can do here. 9 times out of 10, whenever they take this pause, they come back and go absolutely ham. This is probably quite an ideal moment to take it as well, right? The money's not great.
Yes.
They have got an AWP and an M4 to work with as well, so they can give that to their most influential AWP. It's going to be JW. Dennis as well with that M4. They're going to try and make something work. They need to find a first frag and maybe surprise the terrorists a little bit.
Cajun also being quite vocal during this timeout period.
So
hopefully Astralis can get a read early on how Fnatic chooses to dictate. Now, we know their fast play on the T side is formidable in these situations, that they can rush someone like Olaf in, find the headshot CT. It's not quite the same, but they can still get aggressive. So I think Astralis needs to sit back this round and get an early read.
this is the thing. So Astralis get this time as well. They're going to know there's some sort of adaptation coming in from Fnatic, some sort of plays coming in. I would be calling, let's just do it. Let's reply. Let's do a rush B. Let's do it ourselves. Let's just get in there, completely something off the cuff. Let's try and surprise them back. But what they're trying to adapt to is they're trying to try and pick us from shore or do something aggressive. If you hold back, that's kind of what Fnatic want you to do this round, lads. They're trying to look for picks here. They'll be pushing aggressive into all angles. If you're sitting there and you're trying to go toe to toe with some Fnatic players with AWP, I would say just use the number advantage you have and the weaponry you have. Let's take a good spawn and let's see what we can do with it. But it's yet to be seen. These all rounds are very difficult. Astralis know what these pauses normally mean for Fnatic. We are in pause now. We can see the reaction from the Swedes here. 3 pistols and keeping those saved weapons, keeping their money pretty honest here as we go into round number 23.
There isn't going to be a rush B, but there is going to be a boost on Catwalk with Flusha and Crims. GW with that AWP has been tagged, though. He's down to 34. That's significant, as it is the strength in this round. The fighting force for Fnatic. Dupree and Xyp9x, yeah, this is it. They just slow down. They just sit back. Device still holding from T-spawn. They know the situation. They know exactly what's up. Olaf's got close to the door at mid as well, so they're trying to get a 3-pronged aggressive play and aggressive defense inside of this mid position. And Astralis aren't going to give it to them easily. Nade will go in through lower tunnels. It's actually a stack, so Cajun goes down to 25. +1 on that, 26 rather, but it does mean that they haven't found exactly what they wanted yet, Fnatic. Olaf's although primed here. He could go through that smoke on Catwalk. Won't let those 2 players see him, and that puts Cajun down to a further 2 just remaining HP. His Device thankfully will save him. Keep all 5 alive. Crucially, the gun's still up for Fnatic though, and they have to figure out where those are.
And they have got the 5-on-4 situation. JW's been tagged. He's towards the B bomb site, kind of by himself right now, and it's looking like that's where Astralis will be heading up eventually. We have got a rotation in towards CD spawn from Flusha, but only with the CZ in hand, can't be too much help here. As all 5 players, I should say, actually, making their way towards B tunnels. This could be interesting because JW is ready at the window. He's going to get the first shot, but it's Device that capitalizes and brings it into a 5-on-3.
Flusha going to try and push through, compensate for that, get a shot toward the tunnels. He can't find it. Bomb's going to go down. Astralis yet to lose a life in this one. As Device will get Dennis inside the window as well. AWP stays up, and the guns are already dropped for Fnatic. JW is trying to rotate around through CT, or rather Flusha, excuse me, to catch them off and potentially get one of those guns back, but Xyp9x is there and waiting. And he now is the last one alive, Flusha. And I think he's just not going to give them the courtesy of getting the kill, save the armor, as well as the CZ. It seems insignificant. They will be able to buy next round regardless, but...
Yeah, as you said, they have got maximum loss bonus, and with players on like 3,600 for JW, for instance, they definitely have a nice, healthy buy going into the next, but Astralis managed to avoid the legendary Fnatic pause there.
There you go. Flusha gets what he wants. So after all that time, he does get a kill and pick up a rifle.
Gets an AK, so that definitely helps boost things up here. And the double orbs that are coming in from Fnatic now, I like this. It's been a while. They've lost, what, 6 rounds in a row. They need to adjust something here. So it's going to be JW and Olaf picking that up. And we'll see what they bring to the table now. Device got his work cut out for him, as he will be facing towards the mid doors. And let's see whether he's going to have anyone facing him. Grenade covers the cross. And we can see JW is going to be one elected to orb inside the B bomb site. Going to be nading him first, and what an aggressive angle for him, looking for anyone to cross there. Terrorists not committing to anything just yet, leaving the bomb in T-spawn, actually on towards Device as well. And just seeing whether any fast players coming in from the CTs right now.
That's exactly it. They're still expecting this change of pace after that timeout. They're being smart about this, Astralis. Dupree already trying to work up Catwalk. Smoke on the Xbox means he won't get spotted from middle. Flush is not in position to do it anyway, but it's just the safety play. Cajun B's actually going to wait for that to dissolve, at least initially, and get a shot out toward mid as well, but they're just sitting back. They're so patient right now in Fnatic, and this gets frustrating as well for Astralis because now there's a minute left. They haven't yet to spot anyone or create any sort of map control. So they're almost going to go blindly when they do decide, and it's going to be right now, for the first time, and perhaps the entirety of the game on both halves, a 3-man push onto long. That's where all the pressure is going to be applied. Dennis is the one inside of pit right now. And from his perspective, he's got a large task ahead of him.
He just wants to pick up one here and then get backed up from the A ramp from Olaf.
He does spot them, goes for the initial damage. Not even really landing a shot on Xyp9x. Goes bounce flash as well. Olaf gets one, but they immediately triangulate on the player inside of pit. And Flusha, he has to fall back down into CT. They give this up for the retake. Horrible, horrible gap in that smoke. So thankfully the flash is well timed. It allows 2 to cross. And then we get the bomb in play.
4-on-3 situation, and once again the CTs with not much footing in towards the retake. We have got JW and Spawn hoping someone walks into his crosshair.
And Device was smart. He waited at the top of mid as well, knowing that likely they were going to go catwalk at some point in time. Gets the first op shot, goes extremely low, down to 19, but smokes himself off, and Crims can't find an opening. He's going to fall away as well. They want to save this AK and this AWP. Kerrigan spots Crims running. Question is, though, do they chase? They've got money to work with, but is it worth it? Is it justified in the fact that they don't have much on the Fnatic side, and all they're really doing is starting to take a dent out of something that could work into their benefit later? They do get AW at least. And on that, they may try and go for Crims as well, but here you go, exactly that. They've lost 3 players in doing it.
Just Crims remaining. He should be able to survive here, currently going towards T-Spawn, but there we go then. A very slow pace round from Astralis. They go for that long retake after about a minute on the clock, and it's just Dennis waiting in the pick. As I mentioned before, he's kind of relying on Olof Meister to back him up. Dennis needs to be finding at least 1 kill in that situation. Olof is absolutely smothered on the A ramp there. As soon as he misses, well, he hit the first shot, but as soon as he takes that shot, he's going to get refaced by dupreeh. He completely wrecks him, and that's going to be Fnatic now on the back foot. They're going to be going to this round with glass cannon AWP on Olof, and he's actually facing towards short once again, but Astralis actually in full control now.
Absolutely. Which makes things extremely interesting and how quickly it turned, specifically after losing that pistol round as well. Remember, it was a 2 consecutive bomb plants and an early gun round buy that let Astralis get back into this before it got desperately out of hand. Dennis with Flusha this time toward long as well, so Fnatic are changing things up to try and compensate for what has been lost in multiple rounds. dupreeh's going to flash around the corner. That does force Olaf back as he gets caught by the full duration. The AWP wants to get in better position. Second flash as well. He doesn't hold the ledge angle, and he's going to run back, and dupreeh's hot on his heels. Olaf never even got a chance to get set. Astralis using utility perfectly to get him in a position with vulnerability, and they don't even go for long control now. They don't need to. They can just control Cat. They can put the bomb down, and Kerrigan's going to play that anchor once more in the lower tunnels. And this time I don't think he's going to have company because it already seems Fnatic want to save.
A nice reactive play there from dupreeh, making his way out towards short. As soon as he spotted Olof Meister on the short corner there, you'd assume Olof would fall back to City Spawn. That's more like the defensive way to go, but he actually opted to go back to the A ramp. Knew he had to step up here. Got taken down, didn't make it in time.
These early save calls from Fnatic are significant as well. I know a lot of people might question why not go for at least a few of these retakes, but they're in situations where they wouldn't be able to have consecutive buys, and yet they are getting them just by the number of rifles they do save, although Astralis this time have had enough of that. They've got it down to just Dennis.
He's discovered now he should be able to get taken down. It's actually going to be 2 frags to him. Goes down to 12 HP.
And he's going to get away on that too because there's no one close enough. So there you go. He's going to save 1 more. Now this time, is that enough though? If I look at their money really quickly, it is actually. So they're going to be able to buy again. Yeah. It's a tighter buy. They go for Moss if they want to. And they're going to put JW immediately on the AWP.
It's getting a little bit scary now for Fnatic. Since those first 2, well, the pistol round and the subsequent round after that, they haven't actually won a single round in 8. So this is actually fantastic from Astralis, just being really aggressive on that A site. There's no fear getting in there. It's actually dupreeh leading the charge there. 28 frags, sensational game from him so far. We can see 2 scouts coming out, make it 3. Oh no, there's an AWP as well, sorry. So 2 scouts and an AWP, but JW has been taken down to 51 HP. This is a really high-risk move from Fnatic as JW makes it work. He takes down Device. Gives him something to work with here.
Started to it at least, JW. Flusha rather going for the jump, nade out. That's going to go slightly deep to do any damage to Cajun this time. Again, that early pick starts to dictate the round in favor of Fnatic. Finally something to work with as Flusha still going to hold the angle. 2 members inside B. There's no one watching mid right now, so this is an all-right alternative for Astralis, but they're committing to it. dupreeh just putting utility out. Throws it to the left as well, so it looked like he would go for the CT spawn grab, but he's actually going to push up onto catwalk while the others, this is a great fake. The left side smoke at mid means they can't see from window. They have to pull Dennis back down to mid, and the second one on catwalk means that they're pretty much already all on the A site. dupreeh just has to cut them off, and 3 will walk into B. Unfortunately, dupreeh goes down early, so now Cajun, Xyp9x, and Kerrigan need to find fast frags against Crims, who smartly, as Crims always does, plays efficiently and gets away from danger.
He needs to make sure he stayed alive there, couldn't drop an early frag. It's going to be a 5-on-3, but still a difficult retake here, considering they have 3 sniper rifles coming in. They are going to be bunching up towards the mid doors. We can see as well Kerrigan making his way towards lower B. So influential in his position before. Can he deliver once again? He can't. Flusha takes him down. 2 to play for now for Astralis.
Cajun be watching window. Xyp9x actually going to get aggressive potentially on it. Pop flash over. I don't know if I advise this peek, and definitely not. Crims gets him. Flusha finds the entry from tunnel. And it looked like the fake worked all until dupreeh went down in middle, and Crims smartly backs out of danger. Retake more than successful, and Fnatic finally get their 3rd round in the half.
Yeah, dupreeh's been so aggressive in that short area. Does it again and actually pushes the CTs off that area. And like he said, Doesn't work out as they went their way through middle. It's actually JW picking up 2 frags with the AWP. And this is it. Fnatic always say in their interviews they never consider themselves out of the game. Even with that buy coming in with 2 scouts, you thought, okay, well, this one's easily going in favor of Astralis. They're going to get things to 15 rounds here. But unfortunately, it's going to be Fnatic bouncing back. And now they have the double AWP set up to strengthen themselves. And Astralis need a fundamental fortitude here. I would say for Astralis, it's probably not a bad time for Ports themselves to kind of work out how they're going to approach the situation going forward. They know that's kind of revitalized Fnatic now. As we go into round number 27, we are going the distance.
Keep in mind the one thing in favor of Astralis right now is reset potential.
That's
so
true.
I would say if they lose this round, then the timeout. But if they can reset them right here, there's no need. Just breeze through it. They'll be on 15. There'll be no guns against them. And that's a huge factor as JW and Olaf on the double op setup. JW that gets aggressive at long. We haven't seen the op in that position. He tries to fire through and catch out Zipix. Again, Astralis, this slow pace. This is very common in Dust2.
Yeah.
First 40 seconds of the round, just kind of sitting, trying to evaluate the rotations.
It's just known as a default, really, kind of working out what's available, whether the CTs are showing any aggression, seeing what kind of map control you can get, if you can get the real estate available towards the short area. If you're going to be setting up towards long, you're hearing for footsteps, seeing what nades are using at the start of the round. It's known as a default. And it's exactly what Astralis are running right now. It's going to be Cajun B and Dupree waiting towards short here. They have got enough equipment and utility just to do a full execute as they normally do, but the problem is they have got JW towards long, Olaf Meister on the A ramp as well. Both orbs being committed to the A side of the map here. Kind of an interesting setup.
This won't go slow. Dupree and Cajun B slightly. Olaf ready for this in a different position, so he can try and slide up, but Dennis at Goose is even more crucial on this. Olaf's going to give that up, though. He's looking toward mid. That single smoke is going to attract him. He's drawn to it like a firefly on light, but it's JW with the second off that now comes into play. Goes for the jump and he hits it as well. Down goes Dupree. Device gets 1 in turn, but it's 3 at the price of 1. And Astralis, again, that reset potential was such a factor. They aren't going to find it in this round unless Device comes up with something in a bag of tricks that doesn't seem to be that deep. Not to mention time is only 8 seconds and they're completely pinchered him in on this catwalk position. He can't even fight his way out of this. Instead, he's going to go for the peak. He's going to go down.
This is the thing as well. It's a nice clean round from Fnatic. They keep their money pretty strong here as well. Don't have to reinvest too much into the round. And there it is. There's the timeout as well. So tactical pause coming in. And JW, like you said, just JW things. He goes for a jumping shot. And of course, this man seems to hit them every single time and gets a lovely frag to secure the round there as well. So obviously money not an issue for Astralis. They've won so many in a row. They've actually got more than enough. They could get double orbs themselves if they wanted to. But Fnatic, after the huge deficit of 8 rounds, finally finding some footing here. And that's a really strong round for them. The double op setup ringing true and looking like it's going to continue that way as well as JW gets his 24th frag of the game. Dupree has been sensational as well. He's been so strong at clearing out that short area and making frags happen on the A bomb side. But this is crunch time out. This is where Astralis need to work out what they're doing. They've taken the pause and obviously going to be discussing their approach going forward. They've been quite methodical, we pointed out before, running those defaults.
And their money has dwindled significantly as well, because Kerrigan's going to buy at 79. The fortunate thing is Zipix and Dupree post-buy are still on 56 and 51. Cajun's got nothing bought, though, and he's only 27.50. So the point is, in the next round, they'll be able to do a quasi-buy, but that's going to be playing for the 15th round for Fnatic, which is a huge problem.
I think Kerrigan right now, he's yet to buy. They're considering a double orb setup. He's actually going to elect not to do that. So he's gone for the AK. We still have Cajun B, who needs a drop right now, I believe. Maybe they already have drop for him. But yeah,
he hasn't even bought armor yet, though.
Oh, yeah.
So he must be talking. I'm just going to fly in my camera and see if there is an AK on the ground, though, because that does make a significant difference.
Oh, man in the sky.
There is an AK on the ground. There is a Vulcan AK on the ground.
Lovely.
Covered in lovely Cluj pins as well that say TSM. That's the Cologne
TSM
one, I'm sorry.
Stickers, yeah. Well, there we go. The unpause comes in. HBL will be dropped in AK-47. The money, not as strong as we'd have expected for Astralis after winning so many rounds. Double up setup once again for the CTs. Let's see what they bring to the table this round. 14 plays 13. Still in favour of Astralis here, but I feel like this is one of the more important rounds going forward. We'll see what the CTs bring to the table here. Olaf on that AWP going towards B this time. He was towards A, so they're mixing things up. And JW pushing off towards short. Aggressive, of course.
Doesn't go for the full committal this time, though, in terms of that fantastic Foon bunny hop style play. He'll just sit and hold the angle because he knows Device was there last time, and sure enough, he's there this time as well. Poised and ready. And what a difference the first pick has made throughout the course of this half. Dennis is now going to take over position on catwalk with the rifle as well. Its trade potential should One go down, they're going to peek together. Dennis gets out for free, flashes come over, he dodges them, goes back out to Pre in, but Cajun, he gets a great shot from lower. That is the perfect response. Now it's 4-4, and they can sit back further on the Astralis side and use time to their favor, and this divides the defense.
It's actually through the smoke as well, Cajun B. That's actually kind of sick, he got that refrag, but it does, they all count. JW is dropped with the AWP, but Dennis will salvage it, and they go into a 4-on-4.
And grouping in middle still, Astralis. It's flush up inside CT. Dennis is on toward Catwalk with Crims and Olaf inside of B, but they're slowly heading that direction. Olaf, remember, has the AWP at the back of the site. It looks like Device is going to be the one to try and counter this. I imagine Xyp9x will either flash him in or jump across to bait the shot. Device doesn't want this. He's actually going to go on his own. This is dangerous because Olaf's just staring at it. No utility used to face one of the best player, if not the best player in the world. An AWP in a favorable position. And look at that. They go through middle and immediately get countered. It's all Fnatic.
There it is.
And it's now
happening.
14 rounds. They obliterate them on entry. There's a bit of careless by Astralis, and their money is now in a weird position where they have to force out this quasi-buy to get onto the 15th.
This was the opening pick by Dennis, working together. KGB does respond, but they're just funneling him to the B bomb side at that point. Like you said, Olaf Meister picking up a couple of easy frags there. Didn't really have to work too hard for them. And we get 14-14. Fnatic have clawed their way back into this after they were the ones heavily in charge in the first half. And now we do see a reasonable decent buy. This will be devastating for Astralis to drop this one though. As we enter round number 29. Device back on towards the AWP here, looking towards middle, seeing if he can find a gap in the smoke to make something work. But they have got that short control once again. Dupree taking a little bit of damage here, but no real positional control from the CTs towards that area. They're going to be playing more towards the bomb site here. Flusher backed up by Dennis. No AWP on the A side.
JW this time as well out toward long with the AWP. No smoke to confront him this time. He may actually, knowing JW, push this off directly through.
Audacious play.
It would be hugely advantageous in this situation as well, because they're all sitting in mid right now with no one watching it, no one considering this, and JW, he's going to do this. You know he's going to do this. The further he gets, the more encouraged he will be. And if Astralis don't hurry up and get out middle, they're going to be sitting ducks for this play. JW sees one. He definitely, he waits for the trigger disc. Well, now he'll fire. Cajun B goes down, and there's no escape. They've committed to mid. They can't get back because JW will lock them in. Now they've come through. He's got a second kill. Where's the push from CT? Great response from Device, but it's all on him. That was so well done from JW. And again, Astralis look hesitant, and it costs them. It goes to 15 rounds now for Fnatic, and the money just barely enough to get a buyout again from Astralis, but there will be AWP in this round.
Yeah, Astralis looking very cagey now. They're not going for their executions. They're just trying to work out what's the best possible option. They're leaving themselves very little time, and JW just capitalizing there. We saw him thinking about it. He takes control, pushes long, and gives Fnatic their 15th round, and potentially the round that wins them the game as well. As you can see, the money's very low. Dennis applying the pressure once again, gets two at the top of middle. Cajun B takes him down, but it's a heavy man advantage now going towards Fnatic.
And JW's position is really smart as well, because Kerrigan can't do much inside of the tunnels. His two teammates at mid will have to try and support him. That smoke does cover off JW in its entirety. It looked like it might go slightly far and actually work in his favor, but Olaf gets Device now instead through the doors, and it's down to just Kerrigan and Cajun B against 4 Fnatic players. We've yet to see them overcome a deficit of this amount and this nature on their T side, so it's not looking solid for Astralis. Flash goes in. Kerrigan caught by both of those as the bomb lurks at top of middle right now. Cajun B the one to hold it. Spotted. JW with the AWP. It's down on Cat. This is the game. There will be nothing Kerrigan can do. He'll try his mightiest with the AK-47 as he rotates back down through the tunnels. He's already spotted up. Flush is going to take shots. That'll bait it out, and Flush is going to close it himself. 16-14. Fnatic just barely get back in at the right time, but they take the game.
You just got to admire these guys, don't you? You can't every single time, and it looks like Astralis had that game tied up. They had so much room to work with, so much wiggle room. And then Fnatic come back with that double orb setup, and JW is having one of their most biggest performances of his life there. So much audacious play. We said the pushing the long doors there was a crazy thing to do considering he had no real information. It works out so well for him. He's getting jumping shots on towards short, and it just seems like Astralis, after being so confident and vicious in the first sector of that half, and the Kings towards the end, it got quite cagey and was kind of forced in a situation he didn't want to after aggression was shown from Fnatic, but that's going to be a devastating.
I mean, the other aspect of this as well is that Olaf was the bottom fragger for Fnatic in this game. Yes, he had some impact kills, but it just goes to show that when one player on this team doesn't show up, it's not like other teams where they have that hard carry. there's still guys that can make that huge contribution and give Fnatic the win. So remember, it's 2 separate best of ones. It's now 1 life remaining on Astralis versus the 2 that Fnatic have. And there's a chance we could play the same map. We'll find out in a minute. We're going to go over to the stage. OJ's standing by.
Jesus. Matthew, you heartbreakers, you.
Yeah.
It was an amazing match on Dust2 then. Talk me through it. At what point did you think we're going to get this back?
We always think we're going to get it back. Like every round we feel like, okay, this is our time. And yeah, I don't know, we just wait for that moment and it always happens, it feels like.
So when Astralis was stretching away, because at one point it looked like they had it nailed down, they were up to 15 rounds. What did you change in the way you were playing to mount that comeback?
We said, like, we give them too much respect. We gave them like pretty much the whole map. We let them do every strat they wanted. We let them fake us. So we just said like, stop giving them control of the whole map and start pressuring them. So that's pretty much what we did. And yeah.
Is that what's said during your famous Fnatic times out? Because you take those little pauses and then seem to come back refreshed with a whole new strategy for how to deal with it. It's that ability to think under pressure to solve the problem that makes you so great.
Yeah, during the pause it was mostly like taking a deep breath because we came up to a conclusion before the pause, what we should do and all that. So the pause was just to take a deep breath and chill out and yeah, get new energy.
Take your shoes off, relax, have a stretch. Thank you very much, JW. If you could choose a map for this next matchup, which one would you choose in an ideal world?
Oof, Inferno.
Inferno. Let's see if that happens with the veto in the next one. Thank you very much, JW. So then, they lose a life. Astralis down to just 1. Fnatic still have 2. Machine, it's over to you.
Thanks very much, OJ. Lots to talk about in that match, and I've got a lovely set of CSGO brains to dissect it for us. Dust2 game, of course, not necessarily the wait, what was I going to go with that? I was going to say, it's not necessarily going to be the last time we see Dust2 as well, as it was outlined by the guys on the desk, suggesting that it's a best of 1. Constant vetoes going on, and we're going to have to potentially see a little bit of an upset or a mix-up in this veto process. I want to quote JW, though. He said, we just wait for that moment, and it always happens. So let's start with that one. Why do these moments just keep on coming? Is it just the case of just Fnatic's individuals, just they make those moments happen themselves because of their play?
Definitely, I think that's the main reason. You know, they have such amazing players in their team. It's bound to happen, basically, at some point. Someone's going to have a crazy round. It's going to motivate the whole team. And I 100% agree with what he said, that their biggest problem was in that second half that they gave too much map control to Astralis. We talked about it, how they are very, very aggressive on their CT side. Dennis would push up catwalk while JW is, you know, drawing attention to himself on middle, and we saw none of that, which gave a lot of room to Astralis to go for their strats, and everything made them feel really comfortable.
And you've got to say, JW was going absolutely beast mode. Like, he was hitting shots that was the JW of, I guess, I hate saying old, but, you know, he was going to the ridiculous sort of style, you know, where he's just hitting these crazy shots. And the aggression that he started coming out with when he pushed through long, right around the back of him mid, pretty much turned the tide of the end of that game. And if you're Astralis, you're just sat there kicking yourself.
You know, I would just like, the follow-up question to JW on stage should have been something like, are you waiting for the moment where you guys end up winning the match, or are you waiting for the moment when Astralis just drops the ball? So it's just, I mean, we talked about, that's the thing. That whole match, it was like you saw glimpses of that, the old TSM lineup, or the same lineup, but Astralis now, who are the best team in the world on Dust2. You see moments of it, but you never feel confident that they're going to be able to close out that match. And once Fnatic won a round, I mean, you could just kind of see it coming. It was like a train.
Yeah. And this is like when the train kind of finally hit that station, was those 2 rounds back to back. It was JW's round pushing from long into top mid, and then straight after, literally just into like a very shoddy buy, Tech9's rifles for the T's. He's up middle in the first 20 seconds.
The crazy thing is there's a lot of rounds early in that match where Astralis actually gave the rounds away, taking fights they didn't need to. There were a lot of mistakes that lost them rounds with that huge advantages. Think of that pistol in the second half, where they take that fight with Olaf, who's on the lower ground. He's got 10 HP. I mean, incredible shots for him to hit, to be fair, but you're giving him that opportunity.
Yeah, the amount of 4-on-2s they gave up, and these constant situations, and as much as Dupree tried his absolute best to keep out of that matchup, he had an outstanding performance individually, not just, you know, buffering the score, but I mean, impactful kills that actually opened up a whole lot of opportunities, but they could never capitalize on it, where they're just taking these peaks, and if you're against a team like Fnatic, when JW is operating on a ridiculous level, you're going to get insanely punished. So kind of ended up as it is. And it really highlighted the confidence when they went for that complete force up. The 2 scouts came out and they still converted the round.
I think it's really important towards the end of that game. The most outstanding players for Fnatic were JW and Dennis in my eyes. Okay, we saw the 2 final rounds, but the first round, I think that Fnatic won the first gun round. In the second half was the round where JW actually got a jumping op shot when the Astralis was pushing cat. But Dennis gets 2 kills with the AK from sight as well, and that's when they finally stop it. The problem is Dennis is the only one in sight, because Astralis threw the mid to B smoke, and you could see that Olaf and JW basically were going towards the CT spawn to rotate towards mid, and he bought them just enough time to come back, and yeah, that insane shot from JW, and that's when they started rolling again.
Yep.
And where does that leave us now? So 2 lives still for Fnatic. They said they're only going to drop 1, and now they do just still continue to sit at that beautiful 2 live mark. 1 left, and it does mean the margin for error has been completely removed for their opponents. Astralis, though, keeping it so damn close. The 3rd time we've seen Dust2 from those guys. Is it safe to assume that it's not going to be another Dust2? Are we really going to see that map kind of slip the net during that veto process? What do we think, guys?
I mean, it's hard to tell, right? We saw it in the previous matchup that the team decided to switch up the map. The losing team decided to veto the map they lost, right? So I'm not sure if Astralis is going to go for that. We don't know the order of the map, so but they don't have much to choose from. If it's going to be Inferno, we know that Fnatic is most comfortable on Inferno. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. I think the bigger problem is the way Astralis lost this map, and I think they took a big hit. Their confidence took a big hit. Now the whole story is going through their minds again. Oh, it happened again, guys. We couldn't close out the game. It was 14. How much at one point as well?
14-10 or 14-9.
14-11 was the force that then broke and kind of ran through.
So
yeah, mentally for them
same story, right?
Yeah.
Just always that same story, and I think we're going to kind of just leave it there, because we are going to have much more to talk about coming into that next one once we have that veto, once we know what's going down into our next best of 1. I know if you've probably just joined us and you're like, best of 1, what's going on? This is supposed to be a final. The process is the same as it has always been, and so we're going to take a break, come back, and the next match will begin. They're going to have to basically redo that best of 1 veto, and we'll be back with, I guess, step 2 of your grand final. It's a little bit different here in Barcelona, but do stay tuned for more CS.